Hi everyone, Maxine here. So thanks for coming back to the channel. My last video blew up. I had no idea what happened there because I'm building the up house now with my up house t-shirt on. I thought, you know what, I'm gonna do the very thing that I said I was thinking of doing and I really want to do. I'm about to mock the up house. What do I actually mean by mocking the up house? Well, it goes without saying that a lot of people thought the up house was a little bit on the smaller side. Obviously, a lot of us like to make our buildings modular, so that's exactly what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna try and modularize the up house and make the balloon section a little bit bigger as well. I'm only going to use the parts in the two sets, so no other parts I'm gonna use other than those I maybe specify at the end. So if you guys are ready, let's do this! Okay, so there was a bit of an issue because I forgot to account for the chimney and I thought I'd just be able to use just one chimney, but actually I've had to kind of mirror the chimney and make it like a double chimney. It actually looks really good. Like I've kind of altered this top part so that they could actually piece together. And so obviously that's meant I've had to move things over a bit so that like the chimney can fit in. But it's looking good. Like I am actually so happy that I've even managed to do this much so far. And yeah, I still need to try and style Ellie's chair as well because I was absolutely determined that this build was going to have her chair in there. So you can see I've moved over like the centerpiece that usually was like over there underneath the picture of Paradise Falls. But I've moved this over here just to provide more space to add in Ellie's chair. Okay, so I've definitely hit a snag with the door, so it doesn't make sense for the door to go basically where the chimney is because it would stick out too much. There'd be like a massive gap. Carl would be getting a draft. So I really want it to basically go where like this row here is, like in line with where the porch ends. But I have, like, if you've ever heard of it, too many snot bricks, and I need like these to be just not snot. Okay, so I worked it out. I actually just had to turn those bricks round. I didn't realise like that's what snot was needed on this side for the Paradise Falls picture, and yeah, it just basically meant pulling the chimney apart, the porch apart, everything apart, so now I need to try and save the house. The house maybe fell over because I was turning around more snot bricks, and yeah, you can see here, this is the back and it very much mirrors the top half so far. So I'm just trying to work out how I'm going to do the bottom because I'm running low on bricks, and yeah, this is a little bit challenging now. Aaron was trying to work out the balloons section. He was so set on trying to do this section for me and he just got so annoyed with it, and I think he's given up now. Hey everyone, it is now Friday and we are still working on the up house. It is taking longer than I anticipated, I'm not gonna lie. Back and forward with some aspects I've already been through in the video, and yes, we went back to a single chimney and now it's half a chimney so that this plate could fit in easier and the two halves of the house could piece together a lot better. I've also put the picture back here and the fireplace back here. I kind of had changed this up before, but I just don't want those pieces to not go in the set obviously, and they just make better sense overall to go back here. I'm not really happy with what I'm getting for the Ellie chair with the parts because I'm, as I've said a gazillion times, I'm trying to really use just the parts that are in the set. So I've just kind of put this like here just now because that is the best I can literally do. So, and of course as well, I did think, you know, looking at when I bought the build, that this would be a really easy set to mirror if I just bought two of the sets, but obviously like we've got parts like this plate here that you can't really inverse the other way. Like you need to have the opposite sort of one of that part to make that work. So we've had to be a bit creative and basically do it backwards. So this is, I guess, supposed to look as if, you know, any typical kind of house where stuff has got stuck on the roof. So just to kind of cover up some of those backwards studs there. So I think it kind of works. It still covers the space. It's still grey, still the right colour. So yeah. Of course, here you can see the back of the house. We've never really seen the back of Carl's house except when it's up in the air. But basically, to fill in the gaps here, it was really difficult because I didn't have many like kind of 2x1 bricks or 3x1 bricks and 4x1 bricks and things like this. So I basically had to decide to give him a back door just to fill in this massive gap. Like, it doesn't seem massive, but it is when you're trying to find bricks. And also we had like a kind of number of these brownish bricks and orange bricks. And it wasn't really working to kind of do like an orange section and then a brown section and then a pink section. It just looked a bit strange. So we came up with the idea of just kind of doing a section kind of stripy. And on the inside, actually, it looks alright. It kind of looks like jazzy wallpaper. You can see I've moved around the TV and the clock here and the vinyl player and everything here as well, the record player. So it kind of actually looks quite good on the inside. I'm quite happy with that. It looks like wallpaper. In the back, it just looks a bit strange. So I have fashioned a sort of planter wall. I mean, a lot of older people do like gardening, and I just thought, oh, this might look quite nice. So there is a stud here. I just need to like work on attaching it, but it does attach. It attached earlier. I just need to put it back on. But eventually that will kind of cover that, and it adds a little bit dimension. And it was always my plan, even though I'm just sticking with parts in the set, to add some like nice grass pieces and things like that, just to make it look a bit nicer. I was always planning on doing that. So I'm going to add those in at the end once the main build is finished. Also, I absolutely love this. All credit to this goes to Aaron for this idea. But basically, again, we had a lot of exposed studs that we kind of had to place to make up parts of the wall, and I wasn't happy with that. So he came up with the idea of using some of the pieces that are used for Carl's bed from one of the sets, because we obviously had spare, and to make these kind of planters. So we've put them in by using one jumper here, and attach them at an angle. And yeah, so I'll be adding in like another plant piece here to make it look like a planter, and then obviously there's this little bird that's kind of, as they do, made its nest in a planter. And also here we've got like a kind of vent here, which I think actually looks really quite realistic. So that covers up the studs down there. So yeah, I'm basically at the point now, Friday morning, that the house itself is pretty much done. I can piece that together quite happily. The bane of my life though has been the balloons. Oh my goodness. So this is all the parts I have left. Just really random parts here and there. But yeah, the balloons I just cannot work out for the life of me. Aaron's had to go as well, and he was getting really annoyed with it. He kept dropping them everywhere, and he just said, it's impossible. So he gave up. But I can understand why. I'm trying to do it now, and I thought it would be quite an easy case of just, you know, getting a bunch of these parts here that you tower up, kind of maybe attaching them somehow to each other and expanding the balloons like to the side. But I've tried that and it just doesn't work. Again, just sticking to the parts that come with the set. So I'm gonna give it another really good go. I swear I've been at this for so many hours. This has probably taken the most time trying to work out the balloons. But yeah, it might be one of those things that we just really can't do with the parts that are in the set. Okay, so I have come to the conclusion that all of us guys complaining over here that the Up House set did not have enough balloons. There may be a reason for that, is because it is impossible to work out how to get more balloons attached. So I did come up with this this kind of strategy, which was working so well to begin with, and it used like a lot of these extra white snot pieces and Technic pieces, and basically attached these white sections that make up the kind of tower of balloons to the side, so they were sticking out. So one was kind of sticking out here and one was sticking out sort of here, and then that made the balloons seem wider, and I was like, right, this is it, I am on to something. However, the attachments, I mean, you can see holding on by one snot brick and then the weight of them, it just wasn't working. It was too flimsy. And then even more so when I put this onto here, which is slightly flimsier now that it doesn't have the support through the house, yeah, it was just falling off. So I think I'm just going to make up the balloons as the build instructs for now, and maybe come back to it later and maybe, you know, give in to using other pieces that don't come with just the two sets. And we are done! Oh my goodness, that took so much thinking and problem solving, this build, but I absolutely love it. Oh my goodness. So yeah, for the balloons were the biggest challenge. I did end up doing kind of like sort of two chimneys, which doesn't look great, and it's not super sturdy. You are able to move it and things like this, but it's not obviously for playing with. And it doesn't have that nice teardrop shape anymore, which is obviously something quite noticeable in the film. So The way that I've kind of done it though is quite nice in that I've got another part here. So if I wanted it to have that kind of teardrop shape, I could just go back to the original balloons from this chimney and do this here, take this part out and put this kind of like makeshift roof section in, and it fits really nicely. Oops, it goes this way. And then this little birdie weather stationary thing goes here. So there is that option as well, but I'm just leaving it like this just now just to show you guys all the balloons. So yeah, this actually does use up every single balloon in the two sets. Some of them you can see I've cheated a little bit and just kind of attached them on top of each other. Just the odd one here and there where there was no other option. But otherwise, this is the modularized up house. So if you go around, you can see that I've doubled the porch size, which I love, love, love. And I've even added in a little security light in there using the record player piece. Not changed anything really about the front other than the porch. Because I really liked all these details. There was nothing wrong with them. Go around to the side. You can see I've added obviously a window here because this whole section to the back is not part of the original build obviously. I just need to push these bits in, but yeah, they're all fine. So there's obviously some exposed studs here, so I'm going to be adding in some kind of plant pieces there when I'm finished. Already showed you the back, but here it is again, and this wall piece can be attached as well into the studs. I'll need both hands to be able to push that on. And then I'll add some nice plant pieces onto that to kind of make it look like a living wall for Carl's house. If we keep going round, again this is the other side. So you can see it does fit together quite nicely. It's just hard because I need both hands to do it. And yet there's another window here and these planters as well. So that is the exterior of my modularized up house. Ah. Now if we take a look inside, so this is the front of the house, so a lot of the details are quite similar to the original build. So for example, this kind of storage box is in sort of, I guess, a loft space, which is accurate, but I have added in some plates and some bits here just to make it look a bit more like maybe like a little carpet here, and there's exposed studs so I can attach some little accessories that weren't included in the two builds there if I wanted to. And this is the living area, so this is pretty much the same. The only difference is if I just take the seats out, I did change around some of the floor pieces here, just so that I was able to kind of add two chairs in. So originally this was just one stud, and now I can pop these back in. And yeah, as I said, I'm not too happy with what I was able to do for Ellie's chair, but limited by pieces what was left in the two sets, so I'm just kind of leaving it like that just now, but I'll probably change that later. You can also see that I've changed around Carl's bed ever so slightly, so I've changed the way it's facing. I think it looks quite nice under the window actually. And then obviously there was a spare lamp from the other set, so I've used one of the kind of fence pieces to make it a smaller lamp so it would fit under the roof. And then next we have this other section that was not included in the build. So here I've kind of got an open space. I've not decided if I'm going to put anything there. I might just leave that as it is. This little area here kind of joins to where Carl's bedroom sort of is, if we put the two sets together. So I thought this could just be like a little chair where he kind of reminisces with his cup of tea, and he's got his obviously his famous little book that he has with Ellie, his adventure book, so that could be there. And then downstairs, obviously because of the limited bricks that we had, this was the bricks that we ended up using to make up the back wall, but again I think it looks kind of like jazzy wallpaper that you might find in an older person's house, so it kind of works. So there I've attached the clock and the TV. I've kind of made like a makeshift TV unit here just to kind of just make it look a bit better. And yep, so I've just shifted back the lamp and the record player as well into the space. And then behind here, obviously I've added in a back door and a window here, so there is the little plant pot that's in there as well. I've also put it on a transparent stand with Carl and Russell hanging on like the scene in Up as well. I thought that would be really funny. And the best way to display the figs while having the Up house up. And yeah, we'll just leave Doug and the squirrel and everything down here. So thanks for watching everyone, that is it from me. I really hope you like my Up mock. I'm not really a mock builder, so I'm pretty happy with how this has turned out. I'll be displaying it with pride above all of my Disney sets. So yeah, please like this video if you really enjoyed it. There'll be more similar content coming soon. And please subscribe as well if you haven't already. I really appreciate it. And that's it from me. Bye!